Welcome back to another live stream. Hi. How is everyone doing? Ha. Tonight's topic is going to be interesting, but as usual, before we go in too far, just want to make sure that the stream is working fine. You can see the video feed. The audio is okay. The microphone is working. There's no distortion, or the audio is not too loud. I did do some tweaks to the audio setting, so let me know if you can hear me fine or if there's any problem at all. While I'm waiting for feedback, let me just drink my coffee. Coffee first. Always coffee's life. All right, we have some feedback already. Thank you, Jari. Thank you, Vapagamuka. Okay, as usual, say hi first, and I'll definitely respond to members' chat first. As a member, your name will be highlighted in green, and you have a star badge next to your name. And yeah, you get priorities in responses. So, but for everyone else, don't worry. I'll get to you. I'll get to every single chat, right? Just have to wait for a little bit. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Kevin, good evening. Robin, I hope you are well. Good evening to you too, Kevin. Very good to see you again. Dan says, hello, Robin and everyone. Hey, Dan, how are you? Very nice to see you here. AJ says, hi, Robin and everyone. I hope you are all well. I'm doing quite all right. It is 11:30 here in Adelaide. Wow, that's very, very late. Question, what is Micro Four Thirds missing in 2025? Not enough people appreciating how good it really is. I think we have enough people appreciating Micro Four Thirds. It's just that as time moved on, there are other products from competitors, other brands, other manufacturers that do offer something extra and something unique. And these other features or capabilities are also tempting. That's why some people move away. That is just what it is. That's how gear competition works, right? Whenever someone releases something better, they attract more customers. And I think it is time that Micro Four Thirds, both Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions, really sit down and strategize and look at what that's missing, plan ahead, and hopefully they can fill in the gaps and not lose too many customers along the line, and hopefully they can recover the market share and gain more traction and grow the audience, right? That's what we want for Micro Four Thirds. Yeah. Mark says, I miss nasi lemak. Well, yeah, I just had nasi lemak like yesterday and today, so we eat. Well, it's not really healthy. The name itself suggests that, you know, if you loosely translate it to English, it's fatty rice. That's rice full of fat. So there's no way that's gonna be a healthy meal, but we love it so much. We eat it almost on a daily basis. So yeah. Thanks, Kevin, for the feedback. I appreciate that. Andrew says, Selamat petang, Robin, loud and clear. Nasi lemak on the way. You're ordering some food delivery, I guess, for dinner. Yeah. Why am I suddenly thinking about nasi lemak ayam goreng at this hour? Oh yes, ayam goreng. Should have put like nasi lemak, but there's not enough space. Nasi lemak ayam goreng. There's not enough space to fit all of that in the light box, right? So yeah. Jack says, good day, Robin. Good to see you. Hey, Jack, how are you? Nice seeing old KL. Yeah, you're referring to the drone shots, right? This particular pre-roll for the opening scene before my stream starts. So yeah. Jared says, other video, okay, thank you so much. Papa Gumoka, good evening to you too. How are you? Photot says, here fine, thank you. Thanks for the update. Thanks, Jack, for the update. Dave says, stream is great. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate that. Hey, Intrigue, how are you? Intrigue says, hello from Virginia. Hello to you too. Oh, Shuttlehand says, hello and greetings from Thailand. Wow, Thailand. I do have to plan a trip to Thailand soon. I have friends in Bangkok. And I do miss Chiang Mai as well. So Yumi says, hi, Robin. Hi, everyone. Hope you're okay. I'm good. Thank you so much, Yumi, for being here. Kevin says, the 60 macro is great with a macro flash hood. Just wish it was faster. Yeah, I think in one of the videos that I did recently, the 10 lenses that's missing from Micro Four Thirds, or we wish that the upgrade would be, one of them would be 60 macro. I think we need a faster and updated macro lens. Yeah. Oh yes, nasi lemak is so good, AJ. Har says, good morning from the US. Audio and videos looks and sounds good. Thank you so much, Har. I appreciate you being here. Nico says, good morning, Robin and everyone, joining at the beginning of stream for once. Welcome, Nico, to the stream. Nice to see you. Jamie says, hi, Robin, nice to see you looking well. I'm doing great, getting back to routine, but still a little bit of back and forth. Well, I'll talk about that in my updates very, very, very soon, all right? Let me just say hi to a few more people. Jared says, hi from Finland. It's not too hot anymore. 20 degrees outside, 24 degrees in my room, and I'm happy. Well, it is 29 degrees in my room. You can see this. We can focus. Yes, 29 degrees in my room, so it's not really very, very cool. Photo says the missing thing, megapixels and panel light new bodies. Yes, we do need more pixel count, updated image sensor. We've been using the same sensor, or at least the sensors with same capabilities for too long. Yeah. Stedman says, Robin, you have a fan in Texas. Thank you so much. Keep creating and sharing and smiling. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. Nicole says, you're streaming at the same time as Jimmy. No. Jimmy is streaming at the same time as me. Thursday is my slot. I've been streaming on every Thursday without fail for the past more than 1 year. You can check the slots. Jimmy is always on Wednesday, so if you're streaming now, hey, you figure it out. Chris says, hey Robin and all. Hey Chris, how are you? Having a late lunch as I often do. Cool here in Isle of Wight, UK. Nice seeing you here, Chris. Oh, Shatterhand says, I live in Oh, okay, that's cool, that's cool. Farsh says, nasi lemak is delicious, but maybe try mee ayam delicious noodle. Nah, I don't know, I prefer rice. I love my noodles, don't get me wrong, but if I were to pick between rice and noodles, I always pick rice. It's just a very Asian, Malaysian thing in me, right? Frank says, hi from Belgium. Hey Frank, how are you? Anthony says, good morning from hot Arizona. Wow, it's hot there. Hey Anthony, how are you? Yeah, well, I guess maybe he's busy last night, so he has to do the stream, and maybe tonight is his only free time. I guess that's the only reason, right? And I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're here, then maybe you can watch the playback after the stream ended for Jimmy, or if you're over there in Jimmy's live stream, then you can watch this in a playback. We are friends. I mean, Jimmy is amazing. I love him. No fight, Nico, no fight. All right, I've caught up with the chat. Let me just give you guys some brief updates on what's happening in my life. Not much, really. I've been running back and forth between Kuala Lumpur and Kuching. So last week, I had to fly back to Kuching for 1 day. It's a day trip to settle some things with the National Registry and to get things done, because I think if you guys have not been following me, my mom passed away recently. So after my mom's passing, as a responsible Malaysian citizen, there are things that I have to do as the only child. The only child I have to do for mom. And one of the things is to report her death to the government. And there's a long drama that I'm not going to go into now. But the short story is that, the short version is that I need to travel back and forth from Kuala Lumpur to Kuching. It's 2 hours flight away. And next week, I have to travel back to Kuching to settle some stuff. This is going to keep happening for a little bit more. And I don't want to just stay in Kuching for the next few weeks or a few months, because my computer is here, my workstation is here, all my equipment is here, my lighting, my microphone, my tripod, my camera, everything, right? I can't bring everything back to Kuching and back and forth. It's just not possible. And my clients are here. I have to work and earn a living, right? I can't just disappear for a few months and not have income. And so I have to be in Kuala Lumpur to continue functioning, whether creating my YouTube videos or to shoot as a photographer to earn a living. But yeah, I do need to travel back to Kuching from time to time to settle some stuff. I foresee another few more trips, but so far things are going well. It's just a little bit busier, a little bit more hectic, and a little bit unusual for me to travel so much, and it does throw my routine a little bit off, but I gotta say things are going okay so far, so I'm not really complaining. I will be speaking at Kuala Lumpur Photography Festival next weekend. So Kuala Lumpur Photography Festival is happening on the 15th to the 17th of August. I will be speaking on the 17th at 5 o'clock on Sunday, 5 o'clock, which is next Sunday. I will do a proper announcement on my socials soon. I know all of my friends who are speaking already blasted on their Instagram, the Facebook, or whatever they post. I have not. I don't know why. But yeah, I'll blast on my social media. I'll announce properly my time slots and the location that I'm speaking at. It will be in a seminar room on the level 2 at KL Gateway Mall. Reachable by LRT. Public transport is on Sunday next week, 17th of August, 5 o'clock. Well, I don't think there's anything that exciting about my talk. I'm doing such a poor job promoting myself. Because it's a photography festival and everyone is speaking about photography. I can count like more than 5 people talking about street photography. I don't want to add on another street photography talk to so many talks already. There's so many photographers talking about sharing like tips on improving your photography, on the art of seeing and all these things. I don't want to add to that, so I let them do it. There are so many talented photographers out there, so obviously I'm sure they'll be doing a great job sharing about their photography and the photography projects that they were doing. I want to be inspired and I want to learn from them. So I don't want to add to all this redundancy. So what I will be doing, I try to be unique. I try to do something different. So I'll be talking about photography and YouTube because I've been doing YouTube for more than 5 years now. This is my 6th year doing YouTube. As a photographer, how has YouTube helped me to grow an audience? How has it helped me to improve my photography journey? And what have I learned from this doing YouTube all these years? And how can this help other photographers? So those are the things that I'm sharing on stage at Kuala Lumpur Photography Festival, YouTube and photographers, and of course some tips on photographers who want to start doing YouTube or start creating on YouTube. I think YouTube is a fantastic platform for photographers. So those are the things I'll be speaking on next week. Other than that, not many updates. Last Monday, just a few days ago, I did publish a new video, and this is really new. I just made this video last week on Friday. I went to a local camera store, N4 camera store at My Town shopping mall, which was just opened like a few weeks ago. They just opened the shop, right? And they had the Fuji X-E5, which is not really a new camera anymore because the Fuji X-E5 was already launched like 1-2 months ago. It was before the OM5 Mark II, I remember. But only now recently Fuji Malaysia is allowing or having the cameras, the demo units at the camera stores for people to go in and have a touch and try. So I thought, why not just make a quick and easy video and to talk about the Fuji X-E5. Now, here is a little bit of rant that I want to talk about. The video did surprisingly well in terms of stats, in terms of views, watch time and everything. For a video that I put very minimal effort in, because at the beginning of the video, I made it very clear in my disclaimers that this is not a review, this is just my hands-on experience with the SE5. I only had about half an hour with the camera at the store, but I don't want to I was curious about the camera and I wanted to share what I like and dislike while playing with the camera for such brief duration of time. That's it, right? Basically, I don't have the time to go out to shoot. I cannot bring the camera out from the store. It wasn't allowed. Fuji wouldn't like that. And I don't have sample photographs. So it wasn't really a review. It was a very brief sharing session about me talking about the camera. But because I made it so quickly, I felt that it was incomplete, and it's true. Some people commented that, hey, you should have done a more thorough testing. I don't disagree with that. But the surprising thing is the video did so well, right? It did even better than my OM5 Mark II video, which is surprising because the amount of effort I put in the OM5 Mark II video was way more than this. I spent 3 days shooting. I went into the jungle. I got bitten by mosquitoes. I fed myself alive to mosquitoes. They were leeches, and it's like I almost tripped and I almost for a few times. I put myself in danger just to get some shots. I took bird photographs, something which I don't do. I went out of my comfort zone to do something that I don't normally do. I did macro. I sweated for hours and hours. I spent like 3 hours at one time in the jungle just to get some shots. And it was on the spot itself. I have to make do with what I have to create a video. I had to rush the video. I edited all the way until 4 in the morning because I wanted to publish a video on my Monday deadline, because every Monday I have a new video. I came back on Sunday night, started editing. I finished everything at 4 o'clock. I published on YouTube for members first. Usually it's 24 hours before, but for that particular case, I could only publish it at 4 in the morning. I was late. I was maybe about a little bit late, but my point is I put so much effort, so much time, so much more of myself into that video. I have like so many sample photographs, and it's like a proper video, right? Not really a review, but I have a lot more to talk about, a lot more substance in that OM5 Mark II. And yet the video didn't do as well as the XE5 video, which I just went in the store, touched the camera for like half an hour and just do like a simple talking head video. It baffles me because it shows a lot of things. Number one, my own audience is not really supporting me in a way, because look at it. If you really know how YouTube works, YouTube will push the video to your audience, right? So YouTube will push my video to my subscribers. If my subscribers watch my videos, if a huge percentage of my subscribers click and watch my video, then YouTube will push my video to a wider audience. And that's when the video it will become a hit, it will go viral, and more people will watch the video, right? Now, here's the thing. The OM5 Mark II video was doing okay. It's not doing poorly, it's doing okay, but it didn't do as well as XE5. When I look at the XE5 stats, my audience did not really watch the XE5 video, and that's fine. You guys, I'm not blaming you guys, right? You, as an audience, as a person watching YouTube, anyone is free to watch whatever they want. You can choose to watch a video or not to watch a video, and obviously my channel is about Micro Four Thirds, and I'm not kidding myself. People come to my channel to watch tips and tricks on how to improve photography, tips and tricks on how to use Olympus or OM system cameras. I'm not kidding myself. So whenever there's a topic that's different from that, say a Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji camera, usually people don't click, or they click and they just watch for like 10 seconds and they click away. That's fine, but it shows. I can see in the stats that very few people from my audience, my subscribers, actually watch the video. But YouTube also told me somehow this did not affect people outside of my subscribers to watch my video. So because my subscribers don't watch my video, YouTube pushes my video less outside of my subscribers, right? Even when they don't push my video out as much as usual, more people from outside watch my video. Can you imagine how this makes me feel? It shows something very important. It shows that the interest for Fuji, for that brand, is way higher than Micro Four Thirds. The interest, people wanting to watch Fuji products, that genuine interest surpasses OM Systems, surpasses Olympus, surpasses Micro Four Thirds. I am a Micro Four Thirds channel, and people are not even interested in watching my own content. That's a little bit painful to digest, because it's like, I understand I'm not really making my videos purely for views, but if I'm putting so much effort, like the OM5 Mark II, right? I'm putting so much effort to make that video, to rush it out for my subscribers, for everyone to watch, and if people don't watch, the video is not going to do well. And I did not even put like 10% of the effort that I did for the OM5 Mark II in the XE5, and it's doing better than the OM5 Mark II's video. Like, literally, maybe it's just 5% of the effort that I put on the OM5 Mark II video. It's like, why do I work so hard again? There must be a balance, right? Like, I need to, like, put in the effort and make sure that I get some return as well, right? I can't just do something and get nothing. So anyway, that's it about my rant. I'm not complaining, really. I'm thankful that you guys are here. I'm thankful that you guys continue to support me. I know a lot of you will watch a lot of my videos, and I'm really thankful for everyone. Well, the reason I'm complaining is just I find it very odd, and I guess the truth it's just very hard to swallow. The brand Fuji has grown so huge that even I'm not a Fuji creator, people will come and watch my video because I talk about Fuji. That's the truth, right? And it's really, really worrying. All right, we have a member. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining as a member. Let me see if I can highlight your name. There you go. Anthony Gabo, welcome to the Photo Walk Buddies program. Yes, I think this is a good time to remind everyone that I have membership enabled. So with just the price of a cup of coffee, you can join as a member, you can support me, and you get some really cool perks in return. You get to see my videos 24 hours before everyone else. You have early access to my videos. We have members-only live streams once every month where you get to interact with me more intimately, and I share more interesting information with you guys that I don't normally share on my public live streams. Also, if you are a member, I will prioritize my responses to your comments first. I'll reply to you first, whether it's in my old videos or new videos. And of course, in this live stream, I will definitely respond to your chat first before everyone else. I have taken down some older videos that are not performing well, videos that don't get more than 10,000 views. And these videos included tips and tricks on improving composition, tips and tricks on shooting impactful black and white photography, tips and tricks on getting sharp images, doing macro, a lot of POV street photography as well. And if you want access to these videos, you can join as a member, you'll get full access. The reason I took them down is so that they won't affect my new videos. I want YouTube, again, to push my new videos to a wider audience. And it has been working so far. My videos have been doing quite well in the recent times. All right. So if you don't want to join as a member, there are other ways to support me. You can buy me a cup of coffee using this link up here, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can buy from my affiliate links. All links on how you can do all these things, they are in the description below. So any support goes a long way. Will definitely help me to continue to create more content, share more tips and tricks, share more fresh photographs with you guys here. For those of you who have contributed, who have sent me or bought me coffee before, or bought from my affiliate links, or in the super chat, or if you are a member, thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate you. Let me drink some coffee and we'll get to the chat, and we'll start with the topic for tonight. Okay. Andrew says Kuala Lumpur Photography Festival still has not had schedule out. It's already out. If you look at the Facebook, let me see if I can pull this out. It's already out. KLPF. Let me just bring this up first. So you obviously did not check KLPF, right, Andrew? Let me see if I can bring this to the Windows screen. Okay. So if you look at the timetable, fun fact, OM System is an what do you call that? Is a sponsor for this year's. It's one of the sponsors for the Kuala Lumpur Photography Festival. Okay, for example, I'm sure here you see, Matt Moss, 17th of August, Sunday, 4:15 to 4:45 at main stage, right? And then Dr. Chung. Her talk will be 17th of August, Sunday, 2:50 to 3:20 at the main stage. All the time is out. Let's see. See, OM System is one of the exhibitors. So this will be Photo Walk by Jerome, 15th of August, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Let me see if I can find any more. Zesh Wong is talking on 17th of August, Sunday, 6 o'clock to 6:30 at Travel Square. Let me see if there's anything interesting. Nazri Sulaiman, talking about storytelling. It'll be in Malay, 17th of August, Sunday, 12:20 to 12:50. Where is it? Let's see. It's seminar room. All right. I mean, if you look at here, there's so many of them. This is my friend Grace. Grace is representing PSPJ, Photography Society of Petaling Jaya. The Streets Speak, how to tell powerful stories with your camera. So Grace talk will be on Sunday, 17th of August, 11:40 to 12:10 at seminar room. I mean, there's so many of here, right? Yip Tiam Seng, Master Azharul Shah, Wong Pek Fa. There's so many people here. Let me see if there's anything someone that I recognize. You gotta check all these things. I'm trying to look for myself. I know mine was one of the first few that they announced, which is really strange. Chotash, I want to watch this as well. Chotash is a friend. Chotash talk will be on Sunday, 17th of August, 1:40 to 2:10 at Seminar Room. Chotash, Seeing with Purpose, the street as a canvas, right? Hafiz Serene. Azul is my friend. Azul will be speaking on 16th of August, Saturday, 2:30 at Seminar Room Level 2. So Azul will be sharing about his new project, Kaki Lima, shooting a photo series. Where else? There's Azul. Kieran, my friend who is flying in from Kuching, Borneo. He's sharing about black and white photography, Borneo in black and white. 17th of August, Sunday, 1 to 1:30 in Seminar Room. I'll be there as well to support Kieran. That's me, Robin Wong, YouTube for photographers, as I mentioned. 17th of August, 5 o'clock, Sunday, at the Seminar Room at Level 2. Yeah, so, I mean, it's all out. All of them, they are all out, right? So, yeah, you just have to go there and make sure that you are there for the right. I mean, you have to plan your time ahead a little bit because there might be 3 or 4 events or talks happening at the same time. So you gotta pick and choose who you want to watch or who you want to support. Hopefully, not 2 of your friends speaking together at the same time. So yeah. All right. Timetable. I mean, that's pretty much, the timetable is already there, right? So you just have to figure out who you want to go to. Gregory says, interesting. I watch your videos even if I'm not particularly interested in your camera or lens. Oh, thank you so much. It's very nice of you. Because I always learn something or am inspired by your photography. I think it's also like people don't have a lot of time. And with only a limited amount of time they have in a day, they gotta choose very carefully how they spend the time. And YouTube videos are typically like 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, and that's a huge chunk of time, right? So if it's not the topic of interest, usually people will just skip or click away. And I'm not lying to myself. It's very obvious. Like, my channel is about Micro Four Thirds. My channel is about street photography, and a lot of people come to my channel specifically because I have tips and tricks on using Olympus cameras. And whenever I don't have those tips and tricks, people are just not interested. When I talk about how to improve your composition, instead of getting, let's say, 10,000 views, I will get maybe 1,000 views, right? When I talk about black and white photography, then instead of the usual 5,000 views, I only get 500 views. Or when I talk about like, oh, you know, your gear doesn't matter. Like, the way you see, or what you really need to do is improve how you see to get better shots, right? Immediately the view will instead of like getting maybe 20,000 views from my OM5 Mark II's video, I'll only get like 2,000 views. That's just the reality, right? People are just not interested in photography. People are just interested in gear, and people don't care about how to improve their craft. They just care about, you know, like, how can my camera help me to get better photos? That's just the reality. And I know this. And I'm also partially responsible because I built my brand around tips and tricks on how to get better shots from your camera. And while I do enjoy doing that, but I'm also part of the problem. I contribute to the problem that people say, oh, I can do this to get better photos. I don't care about composition. I don't care about lighting. I don't care about storytelling. The thing is, all these other things like storytelling, decisive moment, lighting, what you shoot, right? All these things matter more than how you control your camera. It matters more than your shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. It matters more than noise, dynamic range, and sharpness. And yet, people only come to my channel to see, oh, wow, when I talk about use this handheld starlight mode to get less noise, it immediately blew up to 30-something thousand views. That's just the reality, right? People care about gear. People don't care about photography. And it's frustrating in a way, very frustrating, because I'm guilty. I'm just part of the problem. And no matter how much I try to tell the message that, hey, you know, like, forget 100 megapixels. 5 megapixels is enough. And demonstrated how I use the 5 megapixels Nikon D50 to get the shots. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's just reality. Yeah. Andrew says, oops, let me just click it again. The way it was published is a bit messy and a lot of searching to go through. You just have to do some work, right? I don't think it is messy. I think it's quite straightforward. Just go through the whole page. If you want someone specific, like let's say you want to search Azul, just type the name Azul and his name will pop up. Yeah. Okay, Black Tie says, she did a good job with you, Robin. She? Who did a good job with me? She did a good job with you. What did I talk about? Was there a woman involved? What did I talk about? What women? Anyway, Kevin says, what people want is a compact camera. I personally would prefer a video-centric camera, but overall, it's compact size that made Micro Four Thirds an option. We need another pen. Yes, smaller camera options, that's what's missing as well. That's one of the things that I will talk about definitely, and I agree with you, Kevin. One of the things that made Micro Four Thirds so amazing is because the cameras are so small, and yet they produce fantastic results, right? Parash says, I think Pro Capture feature is good for snap at the moment, but combined with Pro lenses. I don't necessarily think you need Pro lenses to work, right? Any lens will work. Jamie says, on today's topic, I've recently bought the new OM3, put a grip on it, and have used it for everything from street to wildlife. It exceeded my expectations. Well, good for you if you love the OM3. Well, it has the same internals as OM1, so if OM1 is a wildlife photographer's camera, then I'm sure all the features like bird detection, all the bursts and everything, it will work just the same. Photo says, not related, but besides YouTube, there is also YouPic. I like to post there, but then it doesn't reach as many people, and then they don't pay you. And the reason why I pay so much attention to YouTube is because I can monetize YouTube, and it has become a viable source of income. It has become my secondary income outside of the jobs that I shoot for my clients, and it has become a huge chunk of my income. I've come to rely on YouTube for money. So yeah. Jack says, well, you get your medal for service above and beyond the Call of Duty on that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The OM5 Mark II performance is less on you and more that the camera itself is very underwhelming. No, it's not about the camera, right? Whether the camera is good or not. Whenever OM Systems topic came about, it's not doing great. Even my OM3 video didn't do well. My OM1 video didn't do well. Are you gonna say that, oh, OM3, OM1? Well, yeah, in a way, it's OM system, right? It tells generally that the crowd is not interested. My own subscribers are not even interested in all this, right? So it's kind of sad, yeah. Yeah, that's what Micro Four Thirds is missing. Guts, a lot of OM5 Mark II reviews recommend EM5 Mark III from 6 years ago as an alternative. But then if you have figured out that the reviews recommend EM5 Mark III from 6 years ago, means you have watched the video. Job is done. Whether the review is positive or negative, it doesn't matter. The performance of the video is not dependent on whether that video is positive or not. It doesn't matter, it's about the topic, right? It's just a topic about the OM5 Mark II or the topic about OM system or Micro Four Thirds in general. It's not great. It doesn't catch attention. That's just a reality, right? There's why so many YouTubers prefer to do Sony or Leica, for example, or Canon. Yeah. Go to Frap says, many greetings from today's sunny Germany. Greetings to you too. Nice to see you here. Yeah. Andrew says, yes, I agree. Most people care about gear than the actual photography. Recently, a friend bought a Sony and asked me whether P stands for professional mode. Yeah, P stands for professional mode. Just tell me yes. Why not? P is professional mode, right? Nikki says, we are happy that you do it anyway. Yes, I do my best. I still do my best because I love Micro Four Thirds. That's the reason why I'm here, and I will share about Micro Four Thirds as much as I can. Statman says, Robin, I watch every one of your videos I see and search your channel for past ones and watch every live stream too. I may not comment on live streams because I watch on a large TV. No worries, no worries. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate that you're here. And even if some of you don't watch some of my videos, that's fine. I understand time is precious and we all only have limited amount of time to spare, and I'd rather you do something more important, say spend time with your family or your loved ones or do something useful, right, rather than waste your hours and hours of a day away on YouTube. We do get to learn things on YouTube, but sometimes it can be easily carried away And by the time you realize that, oh no, like the whole morning is gone or the whole evening is gone, and what have I been doing? I've just been on YouTube watching one video after another. So yeah, I totally understand if there are other things to do as well. I mean, YouTube is not the only thing that matters in the world, right? Yeah. Farger says, can OM system follow Fuji imagination product like making X-Half and retro? No, X-Half is a disaster. They can follow everything else. X100, please follow X100, please. Or please follow the XE5. I think XE5 is great. If OM system can come up with XE5, that'll be fantastic. Do not follow the S-Half. S-Half is a disaster. Statman says, to everyone watching now, hit the like button and give this live stream a boost on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, Edwin says, we need a compact with image stabilization. Yes, Yumi says, why is microphone is missing? A Fuji badge. Vernon says, I'm impressed by the performance of the 70-300 on the G9 Mark II. Then I saw my Nikon Z6 Mark III and got the Lumix 100-400 for bird photography. Micro Four Thirds is so much relaxing to walk around with. I agree, because it's smaller and lighter, right? And generally can achieve really good results as well. And the fact that Micro Four Thirds has all this tech built in, and you have the G9 Mark II, which is the latest and greatest from Panasonic. You have the amazing autofocus system, you have fast burst, you have powerful image stabilization. Everything is built into the camera already, and it's almost like a fail-proof machine. And if you can't get your shots, it's not really the camera's fault anymore. Yeah. Nan says, good glass will yield great images, reference to Leica, Olympus, and Zeiss. Yeah, but then again, I think glass itself can only help you so far if nobody buys the camera or people decided to give up on the camera, which is what's happening now, because if you look at the market share of Micro Four Thirds, it's quite bad. So yeah. Nico says, in gaming, it's my controller is broken. It's hard to accept our own shortcomings, so we're putting blame on external things, other people, gear, and etc. That's true, that's true. We like to blame other things, right? Rather than ourselves, yeah. Oops, I skipped ahead, never mind, since I already highlighted the comment. Jet says, Robin, an American friend was vlogging in Malaysia and got a lower payout than the US because YouTube tags Malaysia as a smaller market. Have you noted that? Not true. How YouTube works is YouTube will determine where your audience comes from. So if your friend in Malaysia has people watching from America or the US, then the pay will be the same as a US YouTuber. So it all depends on your audience. If your audience comes from lower income countries, say India or Indonesia, I'm not throwing shade, right? I'm just stating the truth, or Philippines, then you will get a lower payout than high income countries like Australia, Germany, or Japan, or the UK, for example. It all depends on your audience, where they come from, or where are they watching your video from, right? Yeah. Andrew says, hell will be frozen over if Fuji makes a Micro Four Thirds camera. Who knows? Maybe one day anything can happen, right? Yeah. Mars MP says, I was a professional photographer in the film days. I agree with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Nan says, I'd like to see a Micro Four Thirds Fuji camera. Could be epic. I don't think Fuji is going to do anything Micro Four Thirds soon. They are perfectly comfortable where they are. I think they have medium format, they have the APS-C line, and they are doing quite okay. I don't think that they have surpassed Nikon and Canon yet. Of course, Sony and Canon are at the top, and Nikon is doing really well. I think they are still somewhat a small player in the market, but because OM Digital Solutions, Olympus, and Panasonic screwed up so much with their Micro Four Thirds in the past 5 or 6 years, Fuji has caught up and surpassed them. And it's just quite sad because Fuji has always been either on par or below Micro Four Thirds, if you really think about it. And it's just, well, whose fault is that? It's Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions, or Olympus, right? Yeah, Kevin says, I've been posting on Hive for the past years. Storytelling has become a major part of my photography. It finally makes me think a lot more about my photos. Okay. In terms of photo sharing, I don't really care so much about where I post my photos. I think, I don't know. I just want to shoot and have fun, right? So when I do my photography, there are two things that I consider. One is to make money. So as long as my clients are happy, I shoot for them. They like my shots, I get paid. Done. Move on, right? Secondly, it's just for myself. And honestly, when I shoot for myself, I don't really care if people see my photos or not. So yeah, and like I said, the reason why I'm doing this YouTube now, the main reason is monetization. I get paid, and it has become a viable source of income. So yeah, let me just read a few more comments and then we dive into the topic. Ollie says, hello, I'm starting EM10 display cable repair. Wish me luck. Good luck to you. Peter says, hey Robin, hey Peter, how are you? Very nice to see you. Sending my love to you and family. Good morning from Miami. Hey, always very happy when I see you dropping by. And good morning to you too, Peter. Maybe I'll catch one of your live streams. I don't know. Every time you go live, I'm either busy out there shooting, doing the job, or running around. I'm never sitting down and not do anything. I'm so sorry, Peter. I've been missing some of your live streams. Andrew says, I had a play with the Lumix S9 at the Lumix workshop. Looks great and compact for a full frame, but the build and price is way too expensive. I agree. I wish Lumix continues on the GM series and so much potential as a vlog camera. I know, right? Yeah, that's one of the things we will touch about when we talk about the missing pieces for Micro Four Thirds in 2025. Definitely a small vlogging camera. Re4 says, Re4, is that how I pronounce your name? Re4? I hope the high-end OM1 series gets a higher IP rating than 53 to compete with Leica. It doesn't make much sense for the entry-level OM5 to have the same performance as an OM1. I don't think they need a higher IP rating. I think the rating is just something that's slapped on. I don't think they really care. Even before they have any IP rating on any of the Olympus cameras before, say back in the day in the Olympus E1, E3, E5, these are DSLRs, and the EM1, EM1 Mark II, none of these cameras have IP rating. If you look at my videos, I've been pouring water on them, like pouring water non-stop of them, right? And those kind of pouring water is way more than IP53, 54. If you really look at it, and I pour water for like 5 minutes continuous, non-stop. If you can look at my videos. I have so many videos of them. And not only the cameras, right? Lenses as well. And none of the lenses is IP53 if I'm not wrong. So yeah, don't worry about it. I think when it comes to reliability on the system, they nailed it there. That's one thing that they did really, really, really well. Okay, we are done with the chat at the moment. I've caught up, so let's dive into the topic. But let me drink some coffee first. Okay, so what is missing in Micro Four Thirds in 2025? I would like to think that when Micro Four Thirds started, they grew quite fast, and especially when EM5 and EM1, when that time came, and then we have the GH4, GH5 from Panasonic, they showed a lot of promise in the market, right? Panasonic GH4, GH5, they have filmed some award-winning documentary series. Some filmmakers pick up the camera and rave about them. When Olympus EM1, EM1 Mark II came about, it has become a viable professional solution for a lot of serious photographers looking for tools or workhorse to shoot like weddings or documentary photography or even portrait or any commercial jobs. You can use Olympus and they can deliver great results. I've known a lot of photographers that actually use Micro Four Thirds system for their professional shoots. Outside of that, Micro Four Thirds, they have always targeted the lifestyle photographers or casual shooters, people who may not necessarily be professional photographers, people who want cameras that are smaller and lighter, they can carry around for travel, for everyday use, for just street photography, something easy to use, something small and light, so easy to carry around, right? And that's the strength of Micro Four Thirds. They've always been smaller and lighter than APS-C or full frame, and yet they deliver great results. May not be surpassing or equal to full frame or APS-C, but if you really look at the images, they are more than sufficient for everyday needs or even for professional needs, to me at least. For my clients have never complained. All these years, Micro Four Thirds, they have delivered great results. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for all types of photography, at least within the bounds of the photography genres that I do. Micro Four Thirds have always been more than sufficient. However, those were the earlier days, right? EM1, EM1 Mark II, we're talking about like 7-8 years ago, GH4, GH5. But as time went on, a lot of things happened in the Micro Four Thirds world, right? We've talked about this, so I'm just going to summarize. Let's not drag too long about all the things that's happened. Olympus gave up on imaging. Olympus, the camera company, got carved out and sold to a different company. That's why we have OM Digital Solutions. Olympus is basically dead, right? OM Digital Solutions, OM System, carrying on the imaging business from Olympus. That does not inspire confidence. Then Panasonic suddenly launched full frame in 2018. The L Alliance. Panasonic, who has always been the huge supporter, it's always Olympus and Panasonic, right? The duo dynamic duo. Panasonic releasing some really cool products. They have like GM1, they have LS100, GM5. The GH series has been highly popular, the GX series as well. And suddenly they were like, oh, hey guys, we're doing full frame. What kind of message does this send? So Panasonic diverting their resources or diluting their resources and attention to full frame. I mean, it will be generous to assume that it's going to be 50-50, right? 50% goes to full frame, 50% to Micro Four Thirds. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't really inspire confidence. And then we look at Olympus, they just gave up completely. They said, nope, we're not making cameras anymore, bye-bye. And then OM Digital Solutions came about, and it took them some time to get the footing right, to start a new company, to get things running. All these transitional years, they don't really inspire confidence, and that's where the downward spiral of Micro Four Thirds really started, right? From being at the top of the market, in the mirrorless market for the longest time. Olympus has been at the top in Japan market for mirrorless for 6 or 7 years. They've always been number one, dominating the market. They went down, not even top 5 now in Japan or anywhere in the world. And if you look at the mirrorless market share, Micro Four Thirds has always been very high. Never number 1, but it's always in the top 3. Now Micro Four Thirds is not even in top 5 in any of the market, right? So the top will be like Sony or Canon, depending on where you are in the world. And there's Nikon, Fuji, and then you have like Panasonic and OM System after that. Even Panasonic's share is like less than 5%, and that 5% is a combination of Micro Four Thirds and L Alliance cameras. And if you combine Panasonic's Micro Four Thirds portion and OM Systems portion, is less than 5%. So that's really bad. And it shows because in terms of products, what they are putting in the market in the last 5 or 6 years, things have been slowing down because of all this drama, of all these happenings, from Panasonic diluting into full frame, Olympus giving up. A lot of things have been shifted, and there's change of strategy, and OM System going into full wildlife mode doesn't really help things. So there are a lot of things that are missing in the market from the Micro Four Thirds products, which can actually help them to regain the footing, to rebuild the trust with the community, and hopefully get back some of the lost customers, rebuild the brand, grow the audience, and hopefully increase the market share to at least 10%. I think 10% is a very good number to aim for, both Panasonic and OM System combined in the market. I don't think they're going to go back to the old days, 20% or 25% market share. I don't think that's going to happen. I think 10% is a realistic number to aim for, right? So what are the missing things in 2025? Number 1, vlogging budget-friendly camera. Yes, I know some will say, but Robin, there is the G100 from Panasonic. Isn't that budget-friendly? Isn't that a vlogging camera? But then if you look at it, it's missing a few important components. It doesn't have 5-axis image stabilization. It doesn't have face detection autofocus. If you look at Olympus, well, OM System has not released anything besides the OM5 Mark II. But before that, you know, if you look at the budget-friendly options like EPL series, EPL10 or EM10 Mark IV, both EPL10 and EM10 Mark IV, the last series of cameras released by Olympus, which are not updated by OM System, EPL10 and EM10 Mark IV, they lack microphone input. And they don't have, like EPL10, it doesn't have the swivel screen for vlogging. And while these cameras, they have quite reliable and powerful image stabilization, but both cameras also lack face detection autofocus, face as in PHASE, which is very critical for continuous autofocus in video, right, to track movement. And if you are a solo creator, if these cameras are designed for vloggers, the continuous autofocus reliability is very important. Without the implementation of the face detection autofocus, this EM10, EM10 Mark IV, EPL10, and the Panasonic's G100, without that, these cameras are somewhat borderline useless. Really, unless you're standing still and not moving, that's fine. But if you move a lot, like even now, I move back and forth right without face detection, it's very hard for the camera to track. And worse, the camera can just lose your face completely and throw into a complete blurry mess. So we need, number one, a budget-friendly vlogging camera that has all these options: image stabilization, face detection, autofocus, microphone input. We don't have that from Micro Four Thirds, which doesn't make sense, right? You would think that Micro Four Thirds would make like cameras that are small, they're easy to handle, everyone can use, everyday carry, right? And you can make it decent, budget friendly. You don't need weather sealing. It doesn't have to be magnesium alloy. It's fine if it's plastic, as long as the price range is manageable. Why don't they put in all these important features, all this recipe, all the things that make a good, reliable vlogging camera? Image stabilization, face detection, autofocus, microphone input. Is it that difficult to ask for? Like, why have they not been doing this in the past 5 or 6 years? Why no one from Panasonic or OM System is doing this? I'm sure they know when they make the G100, when they make the EPL10, when they make the EM10 Mark IV, they know vlogging is a market. Why are they not doing anything? Why do they just let Sony and Canon and Fuji and everyone else eat into the market? It just doesn't make sense. Number two, truly compact and capable cameras. Back in the day, we have a lot of compact interchangeable lens camera options. From Panasonic, we had the GX series, which is highly capable and a lot of people's favorite. If you want to go smaller, we have the GM1 and GM5, which I think is still one of the best cameras out there. Chris Nichols from Petapixels has made a video very recently talking about his best camera, based on his personal opinion, is the GM5, right? Best camera ever made, if you have watched that video. And while I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of things that his points are actually valid, right? About the GM5. I think Panasonic nailed it with the GM1 and GM5 series. You make a truly portable camera. Yes, there are some compromises, it's not perfect, but these cameras is really attractive. You have a small and truly capable camera, and only Micro Four Thirds can do that because the sensor is smaller, right? And yet you can change lens. Whereas if you go to full frame, it's going to be like the S9, which is not really small anyway, and it's just going to be like a monstrous mess, right? If you look at the Olympus side of things, back then, when Olympus was still around, we have the Pen Mini, EPM1, EPM2, which is fantastic. And then we have the EPL series, the Pen Lite series, EPL7, 8, 9, 10. I think these cameras are small, light, and truly capable. And while some of them may not be budget-friendly cameras, like the Panasonic GM1, GM5, those are not budget-friendly cameras. But what I'm saying here is truly compact, truly something really small and yet capable. Something really, really small and capable, because only Micro Four Thirds can do it, and Micro Four Thirds make the most sense in making a camera that's really small and yet you put in all the amazing features and fantastic capabilities. Why are they not doing this? Why are other people doing it, like Fuji with the XM5, for example? That's almost like a Micro Four Thirds size camera already, right? Even Canon and Nikon have that smaller and smaller camera, like the Z30 from Nikon, and Canon, the R10, the R50 cameras are really, really small as well. So, you know, like, and even Sony has the A6 6700 camera, which is really, really small as well. Everyone's cameras are getting smaller, and Micro Four Thirds, where are your small cameras? You can make it smaller even better, because your image stabilization is definitely going to be better than Sony. And if Canon and Nikon, they don't even care about image stabilization. So if Micro Four Thirds continue to update, let's say the EPL10, or if Panasonic continue to update the GX series line, for example, or the GM series line, and pull in all the good stuff like image stabilization, face detection, autofocus, and maybe even weather sealing, it's just going to blow everyone away. It's just going to, if you compare it against even the latest Fuji XE5, I think Micro Four Thirds will be a stronger option. I know we have the OM5 Mark II, but then again, that is also a missed opportunity because it's just recycling all the parts. It's a missed opportunity. But anyway, we need a truly small, truly compact camera in the market, and I think Micro Four Thirds is the right player to do that. Number three, entry level. And this number three and number two a lot of people may think it's the same thing. No, just because the camera is small doesn't mean it's budget friendly or entry level. Entry level meaning that something for people to enter and learn, something that is beginner friendly, something you just pick it up, turn on and shoot, right? Something that is really, really, really cheap, something that is not too expensive, you don't have to think too much and buy, right? For example, EM10 series. I think EM10 series falls into this budget category. And I feel that OM system should consider making an entry-level camera. And I think in one of the recent interviews, I don't know who did the interview, it's indicated that OM system is considering making or continuing to update the EM10 series or M10 or whatever it's going to be called next. And I think that's a good move because it's very important to have entry-level camera. That's where you get people upgrading from smartphones, right? You're not going to spend like $2,000-$3,000 on a camera without a lens and then add on a few more $1,000s for lenses, right? This doesn't make sense. You'll start with like a kit and a lens that's maybe just $600 or $700. That will be a good place to start with all the basics. It doesn't have all the advanced features, but we need those in the Micro Four Thirds system that will allow you to explore the Micro Four Thirds lenses, all the amazing Olympus OM system and Panasonic lenses you can adapt onto the camera. That will be the entry point for people to discover what Micro Four Thirds is all about. You can't just sell $2,000-$3,000 camera again and again and again. You can't make your camera so expensive. Not everyone's going to be able to afford that. Not everyone has high income. I understand a lot of you are from the US, UK, but hey, this the rest of us in Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. We can't just throw $2,000 to buy a new camera just like that, right? So yeah, hey, how about the rest of the world? I think you need to consider that you can make a camera slightly cheaper, but you still can earn a huge chunk of profit from people from other parts of the world. And finally, I think this is the part where OM Digital Solutions is really missing the boat. Panasonic has this before, a fixed lens camera. Panasonic has the LX100. I don't know why they're not doing anything to update it. And Leica is the one that's eating the cake now with the Deluxe 8, which is technically just a refresh of the LX100 Mark II. Which is strange. I thought Panasonic would have their own version, but they don't care. It says a lot about Panasonic. I think a fixed lens Micro Four Thirds camera will be fantastic. Something like, like what the LX100 series, not LX, sorry, X100 series Fuji is doing. It may be the same, it may be similar. You may put in the zoom lens, you may put in a prime lens. Look at the success of the Leica Q series, for example, the Q3, for example, or the Q3 43, for example, or the Ricoh GR series, GR3, GR3X, with a fixed 28mm equivalent or 14mm equivalent lens. These cameras sell like hotcake and they are sold out everywhere in the world. And these cameras are popular because they are small, they are light, they're easy to carry around, they have high quality lens. Hello? Aren't these all the qualities of Micro Four Thirds? Small, light, well-built, high-quality lens? What happened? Why is everyone else doing it besides Micro Four Thirds? And the fact that these cameras are doing so well in the market, like the X100 series got like 1 million pre-orders or something, the X100 Mark VI, and it's like, and there's the hype for the coming Ricoh GR4, I think, the GR3 replacement. They just announced that the replacement is coming, and there's like all the hype surrounding it. It just shows that there's a huge demand for this fixed lens camera, and why is Micro Four Thirds not doing this? It just doesn't make sense. So these are my 4 products that I think are missing in the market for Micro Four Thirds. I'm just talking specifically on cameras because I talked about lenses already in the previous video. So if you guys want to talk about lenses, that's fine. You can throw it in the chat as well. But the 4 cameras are budget vlogging friendly camera, truly compact, like mini size camera, a really small camera, entry-level budget camera, and fixed lens camera. I think Micro Four Thirds is missing out on making money. Do you guys agree with my thoughts? Do share what you think. If you have other suggestions or ideas for Micro Four Thirds, for Panasonic, and the OM Digital Solutions, do share in the chat. And let me drink some coffee. I'll get to the chat. As usual, I'll get to members chat first and I'll get to non-members later. Yeah, so if you're a non-member, please be a little bit more patient. Andrew says, with most of the older pan models going skyrocket prices in the used market, I don't see why OM is not making advantage of that. I think the only pan models that go skyrocket is Pan F, right? I don't see, like EPL 7, I can see being sold at 600-700 ringgit. EPL 8, EPL 9 is around 1,000 ringgit. I can see that. I don't think those are ridiculous. It's about technically half of the retail price. Or if it's really good condition, if they sell 1,002, it's still reasonable, right? Christoph says, hi Robin, our OM system has great promotions in the store. We can often find new lenses cheaper than used ones. Something unheard of with other manufacturers. Really? Not in Malaysia though. The stores, the new lenses are always double the price of the used ones. So we always buy used product. Like for example, I can easily get Olympus 45 f1.8 for, I don't know, $80 here. In the used market. New will be like close to $200. Yeah. Andrew says, I would say that the S9 is like a steroid version of the GM1. Compact, yes, but not quite. Yeah, but then again, after all these years, it has to be a lot more than GM1, right? And the fact that GM1 has some things that the S9 cannot do, like a physical mechanical shutter to prevent bending in or jello effect if there's movement, right? That's already a huge win. And GM1 has a physical built-in pop-up flash. It does flash, and the S9 doesn't have that, and the S9 doesn't have an option to attach an external flash because it has a cold shoe, right? So there are a lot of things that you may think that the GM1 is inferior compared to the S9, but if you really look at it, if you break it down, GM1 is actually a superior camera compared to the S9. But having said that, I can understand why it's designed that way, because S9, if you look at Panasonic's marketing material, the S9 is designed as a vlogging camera, but GM1 is not. So as a vlogging camera, I think the S9 is doing quite a decent job. No complaints there, but as a general photography camera, it's a missed opportunity. Yeah. Crystal says, I know this isn't probably good for the company. What's not good? Astro says, checking in, good evening. Good evening to you too. How are you, Astro? Nice to see you here. Let's get to non-members chat. Jack says, I've always wanted a compact with a full frame sensor that could shoot crop with micro four thirds lenses and then with a mount adapter to mount full frame to L mount. That doesn't make sense. If it's a full frame, it's a full frame. Why would you want to crop it? It makes zero sense. Just use a full frame lens. Raya says, what does micro four thirds need? Clearly, a refresh Olympus Air. Guaranteed gazillion bucks easy. Yeah, that could be a concept to explore in today's market, right? 2025, with better Wi-Fi connection, with better Bluetooth connectivity. I think it could work now compared to, say, 7-8 years ago. Clement says, hi Robin, many manufacturers could collaborate more. So for example, double image stabilization works anywhere and fast autofocus for stacking a series of high-speed modes, besides slightly better low-light sensors. I agree with the image sensor. It definitely needs an update because the sensor still says the same resolution, and we don't get like huge improvements when it comes to dynamic range and high ISO performance. However, like it's too late because Panasonic and OM system has gone so separate. So the way they design the image stabilization system is so different now, and for them to abandon everything and start from scratch, I think it's just too late. They are already set on their own ways. It's like all these compatibility issues should have been ironed out from day one, right? And I think maybe Olympus didn't really want to share the 5-axis tag, 5-axis image stabilization with Panasonic. They have to develop their own because, hey, you know, like 5-axis image stabilization is so amazing, right? It's their secret weapon. So if you want to do it yourself, right? And I think that's the reason why we end up in this mess. Wolfie says, hey Robin and everyone, enjoying Robin's company here. Hey Wolfie, how are you? Very nice to see you here. I think Micro Four Thirds is missing quite a lot of things right now, and it's getting worse the longer OM Digital Solutions and Panasonic wait and doesn't do anything about it. Yes, they really need to get their shit together. I think if they don't, very soon they'll get into trouble, and the market share is just going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until there's nothing left in the market. And when that happens, both OM system and Panasonic will be forced to shut down, at least the Micro Four Thirds or camera making division, right? Jeff says, so I know what you're saying, but I still like the photos I get from my Pan E5. What is a Pan E5? Okay, E5 is DSLR from the Four Thirds. Pan is either Pan EPL5 or Pan EP5. I'm just going to think it's EP5. I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions. Jen says, hi Robin. Hey Jen, how are you? Just arrived here. I hope you are doing great. I'm doing all right. Things are getting better. Jeff says, and my Nikon D700. Okay, good for you. Wolfie says, Micro Four Thirds is missing the ultra portability and budget. EPL, yes, that's what I've mentioned already. We need something cheap, we need something small, we need something entry level as well. Yeah. Philo Martin says, I'd love to see a Mil Digital fixed 10mm lens, water resistance. Mil Digital. At this moment, I think that will be a nice wish list to have, like a dream camera to have. But will it sell a lot? Because whatever that OM system or Panasonic is putting out now, it has to appeal to a larger market, right? For example, like I want to see them make black and white image sensor, like monochrome sensor, right? But I also know if they put it out there, nobody's going to buy it. And if that's true, then it's just going to be a very bad business decision, right? You're going to put something out there and nobody buys it, right? So yeah. Jeff says, photographers do not vlog, but there are vloggers out there, and vloggers bring in the profit. To ignore them is a very stupid mistake. Wolfie says, Micro Four Thirds is missing the improvements to continuous autofocus and subject detection to be on top of the competition like back in 2015. It's missing introduction on the more computational photography capabilities. I think, yeah, I don't know what they are doing. They were ahead of the time. There was a time where they were ahead of everyone in terms of autofocus. Both continuous autofocus and single autofocus, right? They were ahead of everyone, Olympus and Panasonic. And then suddenly, everyone just overtook Micro Four Thirds. I don't know why. Jeff says, and vlogger do not take photos. I think that's a very, very wrong conception. I can understand that there are photographers that don't do video. And I can understand that a lot of videographers, they don't do photography. But to just say that, okay, let's make a camera and ignore a video part, or let's do a video and ignore a photo part, that kind of thinking is just going to sink the company. Think about it. If there's a market for it, if there's a demand, why are you ignoring it? There's definitely a huge demand. Like, come on, you must be really blind to not admit that vlogging is a huge and profitable segment. If that is true, then why are you not making a vlogging product? Ruby says, I can't think of the video YouTubing or vlogging stuff because I don't do that. I think Panasonic does a lot better than on digital solutions, but both should compete aggressively in the market. But Panasonic has no budget-friendly option for vlogging, right? The only thing that they have is your G100, and G100 doesn't have face detection autofocus, and it doesn't have 5-axis image stabilization. Of course, the G9 Mark II has it, the GH7 has it, but not everyone can spend $2,000-$3,000 to get these cameras to start vlogging, right? Let's say I want to start a YouTube channel. I only have a certain amount of budget. I'm not going to throw $2,000-$3,000 dollars to start a YouTube channel, right? And that's not considering other costs that is needed to start the channel, right? Not everything is just about gear. Two different games, but you can't miss any of them. Because if you do, you're just losing profit, right? Just losing money, right? Yeah, Chuck says, hey Robin, always good to see you. Happy to be here. Thanks for being here, Chuck. Jan says, Micro Four Thirds was always the ones that push for innovation and specs for less money. Now in many areas we are behind, so it's also very important to at least match other manufacturers' features. I agree. I think they need to really sit down and think really hard on what to do and how to improve their game and really catch up and not be left so far behind. GTM3 Habitat says, I don't know if a fixed lens Micro Four Thirds would do good. Why not? If Ricoh GR3X is sold everywhere, if Fuji X100 can get 1 million pre-orders, if like a Q3 and Q343 can get like a bad order in 3 to 6 months in some parts of the world, Micro Four Thirds can just come in and say, hey, our camera is available for sale, it's so much cheaper, and yet you get this amazing quality. It's weather sealed, it has 5-axis image stabilization, and all these computational features. It's smaller, lighter, sexier, faster. Instant sale, instant profit. Trust me. The other offerings have big and more megapixel sensor that allow cropping. I think they should focus on the pan small cameras as they were saying. Though, nah. Fixed lens camera definitely is a huge plus. Imagine if you sell half of the price of what everyone is selling, and yet you offer some things that other people don't have, like Live ND, for example. Think about that. Christoph says, in Poland, I bought a 75 1.8 for $500. Used is $550 to $600. OM1 with 1240 Pro, 100 so far to $2,500. It went store 3 weeks ago. Okay, good for you. Here, 75 1.8. You can get $500 used. I think the cheapest is 1,008, right? I saw 2 USD. Let me just quickly do the conversion. No, we can get $350 used, 75 1.8. 350 US dollars. New will be 3,000, above 3,000. Let's say 3,500 to USD. New will be about 800 US dollars. So there you go. That's the price here. Okay, let's read a few more comments and then we'll get to the photo. There's something interesting I want to share today, which is a bit different. Wolfie says, just wait for it to pop up. It's not popping up. I don't know why. Tonight's chat is a bit slow. Wolfie says, one thing I do think Micro Four Thirds could do better than any of the current competition, especially OMD solutions, is drone, modular system, and rugged action camera. Nah, they're too late to the game. I think GoPro just basically dominated the market, and the only one that can come in to do damage would be DJI. Even Insta360 is nowhere near what GoPro is doing, or in terms of market share. And you already have GoPro, Insta360, and DJI coming in, 3 of them dominating the market. And for OM system to come in, it's just too late. It's just too late. Jeff says, breathe in, you trade in. What is that? Breathe in, you trade in? Moment? Still can? I don't understand what you say. The camera does not make the shot. The shooters make the art and composition. The camera leads the way. Yes, that's true. Generally, that's true. Wolfie says, the uncomfortable realization that OMG solution is very slowly looking more and more like Pentax. At first offered best bang for the buck with the best weather resistant, build quality, and compactness. I think this is different because Pentax is bought over by Ricoh, and Ricoh may not have Pentax's best interest, but OM Solutions is carved out, and the company OM System on Digital Solutions, I believe they do want this venture to succeed. Whereas Pentax is like, we just exist for the sake of existing, right? But I think it's going to be very, very different. But who knows? Only time can tell, right? Wolfie says, but now it can't offer frequent releases, lens updates, thinned out improvements, and feature lineup. That is true. That is true. It's a bit worrying. Jeff says, I could sell my APL1 and my OD5 too, and my AP5, but it's not going to happen. Well, if you're happy with them, just keep them, right? Eva. Right. Anyway, B says, man, has Lumix abandoned Micro Four Thirds? That's barely any updates for GH7. Yeah, Panasonic is, I don't know, they've just diluted their attention. I wish they never went full frame, because look at what their full frame is doing. They are at the bottom of the market, right? They are doing so poorly with the L Alliance. That was the biggest mistake in the Panasonic's part. GW that says, I think that Micro Four Thirds is on the back foot and they cannot give us everything. I vote a good pan line and a fixed lens. Yeah, I hope that happens too. Jeffrey says, I agree with you, Robin. On a fixed lens camera with the added computational features OM has, the most others do not offer. It could be like an entry-level drug to draw people into the system. I know, right? Yeah. Why can't they see that? And it's like every interview that they've had, people ask, are you going to come up with a fixed lens camera? OM system said, no, it's not going to happen. It's kind of sad. GW3 that says, camera like Ricoh is already so small, I'm not sure if making Micro Four Thirds version is going to be worth the slightly smaller body, and you lose an APS-C sensor. Micro Four Thirds and APS-C sensor has not much difference. If there's any difference, it's so tiny, it's negligible. I said it. If you don't believe me, it's up to you. I don't care. Now, they can make it smaller. You said it. It's true. They can also add 5-axis image stabilization, which the Ricoh doesn't have. If you really look at the Ricoh GR3, right, they have dust on the sensor, which is a big problem. The autofocus is a nightmare. Trust me, Olympus Pen autofocus is way better than the Ricoh GR3's autofocus. The screen is a nightmare. It's so lousy, it's so bad, you can't see anything under direct sunlight. The battery life is horrible, right? And the lens is nothing to shout about, honestly. I think Olympus or OM System, since they're the lens expert, they can make way better lens than the Ricoh GR3. And the image stabilization is non-existent. If you add on computational features, you know, like let's say live composite, live ND, I think OM System, the fixed lens camera, will blow the GR3 out of water, like just like that. Yeah, it's just an overrated, overpriced camera. GM3 Habitat says, if they make another OM10 level camera, it has to have face detect. Agreed. Otherwise, new use camera cannot get shot. They won't upgrade in Micro Four Thirds. Instead, of SWOT system, because they are new to camera and probably they won't have a ton of lens to keep them from switching to FPS-C. Yes. Yep. GM3 Habitat says, I believe you. But I think new buyers don't know enough, and I think they will be sold by a bigger sensor. Nah. I think these days, people are a little bit smarter. It's not just all about just sensor. But if the camera is truly good, people will know. People will find out, right? The problem with Micro Four Thirds is not so much of like the sensor is small. The problem with Micro Four Thirds is because we are behind in a lot of other things like autofocus, image sensor development, right? Yes, bigger sensor is there, but it's also the sensor on Micro Four Thirds is not improving over the years, and it's not a secret, right? And all of the other things, they're just behind competition. They just need to catch up. All right, I will put a pause here because time check is almost 15 minutes past 11. We'll get to the photo sharing, but this week we're not doing photo sharing. We're doing something different. But let me drink some water first because I'm thirsty. How many of you here? Let's check. 111 people watching concurrently. Okay. So what we're going to do this week is going to be different. I've selected a few of my recent photographs in RAW, and I'm going to show you how I process my photographs. Because a lot of people keep asking me, Robin, I want to see how you process your photographs. Robin, can you do like a video to show your post-processing techniques? And the reason why I don't do post-processing video is because I only believe in minimal post-processing, or at least the post-processing that I do is very minimal. And I want to show you guys that here. I just tweak my photos a little bit. I don't like completely manipulate my photos until you see the before and after is completely different. I only apply very, very, very minimal editing. And I can't make a video just to talk about that. If I make like a 10 minutes video to talk about my post-processing, it's just going to be a very boring video because there's not much for you to learn. And technically, there's nothing for you to learn in my post-processing. So let's get to the post-processing part. All right. Okay, see if I can hide this. Just give me a moment. All right, so you can have more room to see. Okay, so this was taken with the 25 f1.8 and the EM1 camera quite some time ago. If you zoom in, it's 100%. Right, this is a 25 1.8 lens, shot at wide open 25 1.8. So what I'm going to do is, the image is already very well exposed. I will increase the exposure slightly. I will bring down the highlights, increase the shadow, increase the contrast, and bring down the brightness. Done. That's it. You want to see the before and after? This is before. This is after. Oops. Yep. So this is before. Sorry, this is before. And this is after. There you go. You can zoom in a little bit closer. You can see. This is before. And this is after. Right? Done. I'm basically done. So let me just export this. All right. Okay. This was taken with the EPM2. And again, 25 1.8. This is one of my favorite shots. So in shots like this, what I normally do is I'll go to Keystone and I'll just click the auto to straighten everything up. If it doesn't work, so obviously this doesn't work, then I have to manually straighten the shot. Right? So just want to make sure that it's straight. There you go. I think that does it. And it's a little bit underexposed. If you zoom into this part of the man, it's underexposed. So I'm going to increase my exposure until it's bright enough in the shadow. Then I'll bring down the highlights. Increase the shadow a little bit. Basically, it's just a little bit of HDR-ish kind of look. Increase my contrast. and bring back a little bit of brightness for balance. Right, that's it. Done. Like, what else is there to tweak? People say, well, Robin, how do you get your color? How is it so saturated? Why is the yellow so yellow? It's like that. I did not do anything to the colors. It is what the camera produces. Maybe that's why I like my Olympus cameras, because they give me all these colors, right? Alright, next. Now this photograph, you can see that I intentionally overexposed the image so that the background is a little bit brighter. You can see the lanterns a little bit. But again, there's a little bit of perspective distortion. So again, I will go to the keystone and click on autos to straighten everything. So everything is nice and straight already. Now, I will bring down the highlights. You can see the difference between the clouds, right? See the cloud, bring down the highlight, increase the shadow a little bit. You can see the lantern is become brighter. Bring exposure a little bit, contrast, boost the contrast, and bring down the brightness. And basically, that's it. That's all I do to this image. Now, before and after. You see the before and after. I can zoom in to see the Merdeka 118 building. This is the EM1 camera with the 25 1.8 lens. Alright, next photo. Again, this photograph has a little bit of perspective distortion. I'll use the one-click correction to straighten everything. So once it's already straightened, I'll increase the brightness a little bit because I'm going to bring up the shadow. Then decrease the highlight. Increase the the shadow. You can see the difference between the shadow part. Right? Open up the shadow a little bit. Increase the contrast. Decrease the brightness. Done. If I zoom in a little bit to the 100%, you can see the result is already sharp. Right? It's already sharp. I do not do anything to noise. This ISO 200 watt noise. I do not do anything to sharpness. The lens is already so sharp. Why do you want to sharpen anything? Right? So again, before and after. Right? Before and after. Right, next photograph. I think by now you should know my routine already, right? Straighten the perspective distortion. Alright, in this case, I do want to crush the shadow because you can see the shadow detail. But in this case, I'll go the opposite. I'll drag down the shadow. Alright, so that the shadow is completely black. I'll decrease the highlight. Completely decrease the highlight. I'll increase the contrast and decrease the brightness. There you go. Right? So that's it. That's all I did to this particular image. Before and after. I just want to crush the detail in the shadow. Right? Before and after. Okay. This was taken with GM1 and a 25. You can immediately see the color difference. I don't like Panasonic's color. It's just, yeah, Panasonic's color. Anyway, this is a little bit underexposed. Again, Panasonic's exposure is never as reliable as Olympus. I don't know why. So, as usual, I'll use the perspective correction to straighten the lines. Increase the exposure because it's a little bit dark. Decrease the highlight so it's not overblown. Increase the shadow a little bit. Increase the contrast and bring back the balance. Alright, just to go in, punch in nearer for you to see the details. Alright. This was shot at ISO 400. Yeah. So that's Panasonic's color for you. Before and after. Before and after. This was just shot last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. I think you know my routine right there. I can just speed it through, correct the perspective. This was a little bit underexposed, so I increased the exposure. Protect the highlights, increase the shadow a little bit, increase the contrast, and bring down the balance a little bit. That's it. People say, Robin, what did you do to bring the colors to make it pop? I did nothing. It was already so nice. Look at the color. It was already so nice, right? Yeah, I did nothing to the color. So there you go. Why is it so hard to believe? All right. Before and after. Before and after. Okay, so this photograph is a little bit trickier. This one is a little bit trickier. So let me just bring the auto. All right. And it's a little bit out of balance in terms of the highlight and shadow, right? And that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'll protect the shadow, the highlights first, right? Because just now it's overblown, so I'll protect the highlight. Then I'll increase the exposure and increase the shadow a little bit. Then I'll increase the contrast and bring back the brightness. I'll increase the blacks as well in this part, so it's a little bit more balanced, right? So there you go. Maybe I'll increase the, what you call that, highlight a little bit, because I do want the van to glow. And that's it. That's it. That's all I did. That's all I did, right? Before, you can see it's totally out of balance. There's block highlights and blacks, right? And this is a more balanced shot. This before and after. That's it. Like, I don't know why people think it's so complicated. You know already, I'll correct the perspective. Open up the shadow, tone down the highlights so it's balanced. Exactly the same thing, right? Let's see the person. Right. Before and after. Before and after. Okay, this was shot 2 weeks ago, last week, with the kit lens. People say, oh, Robin, kit lenses are not sharp. Well, look at that. This is the 12 to 50, zoom into 50mm, f6.3, shot on EM1 at ISO 400. Oh, Robin, it's not sharp. It's not sharp. Well, kit lens is not sharp. I need to upgrade my lens. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Robin, what did you do to make your images so sharp? Do you use any sharpening software, any AI sharpening, or any AI noise reduction? I'm like, why? It's ISO 400, ISO 200. So anyway, I'll make it a little bit brighter because it's a little bit underexposed. I'll bring back the highlights, increase the shadow a little bit, boost the contrast, and bring back the brightness to balance a little bit. So there you go. There you go, right? There you go. So before and after. And the color is already there. Like what? I don't see how I want to change my colors. If you look at my photos, you recognize my colors. It's just like that. I don't change the colors at all. This was shot, again, in the same session with the 12 to 50. No, this was not 12 to 50. This was very recent. This was last week. I think this was last week. Yeah. So increase the brightness a little bit, the exposure, tone down the highlight, bring in the shadow, open up the shadow, contrast, and balance it down. All right. It's 100% zoom. It's in focus. You can see it's sharp. Right. There you go. Before and after. Before and after. Just a few more shots. This was also shot last Sunday, just a few days ago. People say, Robin, how do you get such a sharp image? Maybe you should try an Olympus lens. Right? Maybe you should try an Olympus lens. That's why it's so sharp. Look at that. Have you tried Olympus lens at f1.8? Right. Anyway, increase just a little bit of brightness. Bring back the highlights. Increase the shadow so that it's balanced. Increase the contrast because I like my photos to be contrasty. And done. Boom. Look at the skin tone. How beautiful it is. Why would I want to change the color? Why? Some people say, oh, I will selectively reduce the blue. I will add the greens. I will change the cast there and here. I will selectively edit this part. Like, wow. If you want to spend that much time, well, it's up to you if you enjoy doing that, but not me. I'd rather go out and shoot more photographs than spend all this time editing my photographs, right? And trying to make it look better. And like, what's wrong with this photograph? To me, there's nothing wrong, right? Like, look at that. It's already sharp. Like, Robin, do you use any noise reduction software? There's no noise. I don't see any noise. And some people say, oh, Robin, Olympus at ISO 200 has so much noise. I'm like, wow. My eyes must be blind. I can't see the noise. I can't see any noise at all. Oh, Olympus has so much noise. Oh, it's not sharp. You must shoot at f4. Robin, f1.8 is very soft. I'm like, really? Is this not sharp? Right, really? Anyway. Bananas! I love bananas. Anyway, it's a little bit underexposed. Sometimes it happens. It's no one's fault, right? I think by now you should know how I edit my photos already. Done! It's already done, right? Before and after, right? Zoom in, look at the details. It's crazy, crazy sharp. Look at that. Look at the details. It's done. Okay, this was again with a kit lens. I think by now you should know what I'm doing already. Straighten it up a little bit. This was a little bit underexposed, so I'm gonna increase the exposure. Gonna open up the shadow more, a bit more, then contrast and balance. That's it. This was with the kit lens, 12 to 50. Zoom in at 46 millimeters, right? It's 100% zoom. Look at the details. You can read all the Ali Food corners since 1971. It's a mamak. You can look at the glass at the side, which is interesting. He has his teh tarik in the morning. Yeah, I just love shooting portraits like this. I shared this photograph last week. You can refer to last week's stream. When I take photos of these buildings, of course, there's going to be some perspective distortion. And it's a very quick fix. It's just click auto on the keystone. Boom, done. Everything is nice and straight, right? And of course, in this scene, there's a lot of highlights. The camera is trying to protect the highlights in the metering. So I'm just going to increase the brightness a little bit, tone down the highlights, bring up the shadow to balance it up, bring the contrast, and done. I'm done. That's it. Like, Robin, what you do to the colors? The colors look so vibrant. Maybe the colors already so vibrant to begin with. There's nothing to do with the colors. The colors is already there, right? Yeah. Again, an environmental portrait. I think by now you should know what I'm doing, right? I should be straightening it, correct the perspective. It's a little bit underexposed, so I'm bringing up the exposure, protect the highlight, open up the shadow a little bit, increase the contrast, and balance it a little bit. So there you go. There you go. Look at that. This is the kit lens, right? This is the kit lens. Look at that. It's perfectly sharp. The man is reading the newspaper in the morning, having his nasi lemak, having his drink in the morning. It's a little bit overexposed, so I'm going to bring back the highlight, bring back exposure a little bit, and I'm done. This is before, and this is after. This is before, and this is after. Okay, 2 more shots. Now, this one, just a 2-man. This is where the keystone fails. So you have to manually straighten it. No worries, not a difficult thing to do. Alright, it's a bit underexposed, so I'm going to bring out the exposure, bring down the highlights, open up the shadow, contrast a little bit, and balance it up. Done! There you go. Like, simple and quick, right? Like, how much time do you want to spend editing? To me, I spend like 5 seconds or less. 2-3 seconds or less. Just slice a slide and done. And it's sport, right? So this is before, and this is after. This is before, and this is after. And nasi lemak, which is this, my light box. This is nasi lemak. Honestly, nasi lemak looks good to go. I don't even have to edit. Don't you think? It's good straight out of a camera. Sometimes it is good out of camera, but for the sake of editing, you know, like I see there's some blown up areas, so I'll decrease the highlight a little bit, increase the shadow a little bit, increase the contrast a little bit, and balance it down a little bit. So yeah, before and after. Done. And zoom into my nasi lemak to see the details. Look at that. Look, oh my goodness, I'm getting hungry looking at this. Why am I doing this to myself? There you go. Let me just open this up. Right. I hope you guys see that. I don't know, people keep asking me, Robin, please share your post-processing tricks. There are no tricks. Like, and honestly, even if I don't post-process my image, I just put it up there just like that. But of course, I do post-process a little bit because I want my images to be a little bit, what do you call that, balanced. And it's always the balance that I look for, like not too bright, not too dark, a little bit more balanced. And I said, I never do much to my colors. Why? Because Olympus cameras have such amazing colors. You're looking at EPM1, EPM2 and EM1 in some of the photographs, and some of them were from GM1. Well, the GM1 colors are a little bit off, but that's it. And even no matter how you tweak, it's still going to be off, right? So I hope you guys see that I have very minimal tweaks to my photographs, and if I do a post-processing video, I think you'll be very disappointed. You'll watch for like 30 seconds and you'll just click off. And that's going to affect the algorithm, and nobody's going to watch my videos anymore in the future. So there you go. Let me just drink more water just to stay hydrated, and I'll get to the chat, and I'll reply to as many chats as possible before we end the session. And we still have some coffee left. Okay. I'm a little bit behind the comments, but I always respond to the members first. GTM3 I bet that says, I'm totally game for a sexy pen update. It would totally crush a GRG RX X100 and Deluxe 8. I agree. And also the Q3, right? Jeffrey says, exactly what I like my Olympus colors. There you go, Jeffrey. I don't know why your comment is not coming up. The chat is a bit slow tonight. Very slow tonight. Jeffrey says, I remember back around 1999 when small digicams were beginning to take hold in the marketplace, I will get asked often what is best to get. I'll say if you want a good natural color, get Olympus. I agree. Olympus knows the color game really, really well. Jeffrey says, I was using digicams for several manufacturers, including Sony and Canon, but Olympus had the best out of camera JPEGs, still does, I think. Yes, they still make amazing, amazing JPEG. Andrew says, wow, the sambal overwhelmed the nasi lemak. I'm waiting for your comment to pop up. I don't know why it's not popping up. Andrew? It's not popping up. My goodness. It's still not popping up. The chat is not responding. The chat is not responding well. I may have to refresh, but if I do that, I will lose a lot of things. So let me just find where I left everyone earlier. So it was B-Man's comment, right? So it was from B-Man, and I'll have to read from there. So let me just refresh this chat. See if it works. It still doesn't work. It does work now. Wow, the sambal overwhelmed the nasi lemak. Missing the ayam goreng. It's too early in the morning for ayam goreng, Andrew. It was breakfast. Okay, let me see the comment that I haven't replied to. This will be a bit tricky because I just refreshed the feed. Oh no, I can't go earlier. Okay, sorry guys, I must have missed some of the earlier chats. I can't get to them anymore. But let me see if I can see from the other side. I can only read, yeah? So sorry about that. Some of them I can only read. Dr. Thok says, true, but most entry-level buyers will go for value for money over sensor size. Micro Four Thirds brings value for money. I agree. I agree with that. The drunk wedding photographer says, you guys are talking to each other, no worries. Wolfie says, while there is no official ban, DJI drones are already extremely hard to find in the US. Okay, drone problems. Statman says to Robin, does OM Digital Solutions provide updates to firmware for E1 Mark III? Does the Olympus RAW converter software still work? You can use the OM system workspace, it works. Does OM Digital Solutions provide a RAW converter software that will work with Olympus E1 Mark III? Yes, you can use a OM workspace. It totally works. Sorry, I can't highlight the comment, yeah, because it's totally lost from the chat already, and I have to refresh the chat because it's completely not responding. Wolfie says, many shipments are being delayed or blocked by US customs, partly due to enforcement of the, I don't even know what that is, UFLPA, and increased scrutiny of Chinese tech imports. Okay. Wolfie says, DJI highly anticipated Mavic 4 Pro launch globally in May 2025, but was never released in the US. Okay, while a few units surfaced, the US never offered the drone for sale. Understand. Okay, let me see if I'm back here already. No, still not back here. We're still behind. Okay, Wolfie is continuing to talk about the drone and the national defense. I'll have to skip this. Wolfie is too long. Okay, Wolfie says DJI has Micro Four Thirds sensor and mounts as some of the drones. Okay. Then it drives me up the wall when I see other people do not correct the perspective in the street images. Some of the lines are almost Dutch angles. Well, if it's intentional, I mean, it's fine, right? The problem is, yeah, it's not intentional. So that's the problem. Okay, let me see if we are back here. Yeah, I'm a little bit, yeah, the chat is not really working. It's not really working. Okay, I still have to use this side. Roger says, Robin, just joined. What software are you using? Capture One Pro. Let's see. Refor says, for your own sanity more than anything. Okay. I can't highlight any of this. This is kind of sad. Let me see if I can do live chat one more time. Let me try. No, it doesn't work. Okay, I can only read from the live chat here. So for those of you who have chat before the cutoff, I'm so sorry because there was a problem with the chat window, and when I refresh, a lot of the chats are gone. I can only read from the live YouTube feed, which is not very nice. So whoever the chat is gone, I'm so sorry. If you have something important, please retype them. I'll try my best to get to them. All right. Jeff says the camera does not make the shot. Hey, I already read this before. I read this already. Okay. We are on the right track. Okay. I read this already. Okay. Good. Okay. Where were we? I already read this. That's great. I also read this already from Woofy. Read this already. I read all this already. Okay. Woofy says, I know it's too late now, but I wish OMD Solutions could have poached Samsung's division engineers, lens designers, UI software developers. Nah, it's too late. This is history already. Jen says, OM5 Mark II was a sad launch. It needed to have a new processor to get today's standards. Video is really bad and outdated. Yeah, that's why I said the OM5 Mark II was a little bit underwhelming. I agree with you, Jen. Roman says, do you know the Casio FH100? It had a high-speed mode of 1000 frames per second. It would be great to implement in Micro Four Thirds cameras. But those high-speed cameras are designed for different purposes. They are not really designed for consumer products, and I understand how in some scenarios it could be useful, but I also feel that speed may not be the priority here. I think what we need is quality, like improvement of image quality, right? Jack says, round robin, a fixed lens camera like an old pocket 35mm film camera. I had an old Yashica T4 with Zeiss 35 and some of my best images were taken with it. Yeah, I know, right? We need a fixed lens camera for Micro Four Thirds. Potato GI says, that's so nice. I was just looking at eBay for Olympus 45 1.8 and they were all like 150, 180. Yeah, that's true. Jared says, it's like a small camera having just key features, but these were top-notch image stabilization, autofocus sensor. Who is SZ Zelex? I don't see any Zelex up here. It's not wrong. On system website, you have insane sales and can usually buy new. But we don't have these websites here. It is not applicable to. I don't know if you guys are in the US or the UK, but those websites do not exist in some parts of the world. For those of you who have it, yay, good for you. But we don't have it here. So, Dr. Thok says, Micro Four Thirds definitely is one of the best as far as size, portability, and versatility. Lenses like the Leica 1260 f2.8 to f4. Don't miss that. It's variable aperture. It's small, light, and can be used for macro, portrait, street photography, landscaping. Yeah, but 2.8 to f4. I'll stick with my primes. Thank you. Dr. Thok says, no need to carry a lot of lenses. Yeah, I'll stick with my prime and macro lens. Thank you. Roman says, forget Micro Four Thirds. OM system is going medium format. If only that's true, right? If only that's true. Wolfie says, I wonder if Panasonic OM Digital Solutions could bring a partially stacked Micro Four Thirds sensor at a lower cost compared to Nikon Z6 Mark III. I think they can if they want to. Anything is possible, right? Just whether they have the cost to develop, design, and manufacture it, right? Yeah, EM1X is supposed to be medium format according to leaks, but then those are just leaks, right? You can't confirm if those information is there's any validity to it. Jack says, my rationale for the combo Micro Four Thirds full frame was a single body for compact Micro Four Thirds lens, compact travel ADC. No, if you want a full frame camera, you want Micro Four Thirds to Micro Four Thirds. Like, why do you want both in a camera? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. GTM3 Update says, I don't know if a fixed lens Micro Four Thirds would do good. The other offerings have big more megapixel sensor that will allow cropping. I already replied to this earlier. No worries. Let me see if I have any members chat that I haven't replied to. Yeah. Any members chat? Members chat. I've replied to Jeffrey already. Replied to the Sambal comment by Andrew. It's never too early for ayam goreng. Wow, that is a recipe for a heart attack, man. I gotta take care of my health. I'm not getting any younger. Dan says, I think Micro Four Thirds needs to capitalize on the film aesthetics resurgence. I love film, but it's so damn expensive. If it could get it look alike, but with digital, that will be so much. That's like OM3, right? And basically, most of OM system or Olympus camera is designed based on the film cameras, like the OM series SLRs back then. So they are not like Fuji. Fuji never really had their film camera. They just copied Leica. They are cheap Leica knockoffs. That's what Fuji cameras are. So yeah. Okay, let's see. The drunk wedding photographer says, I hate to be that guy, but the boomers on this chat are blind to the massive market share of vloggers. I know, right? Jeff says, you got me into photography through the Pan OMD cameras. I'm now hooked. Yeah. I'm glad that you are doing photography. I think photography is really, really fun. Ruby says, DJI is not allowed in the US. Doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Yep, we talked about this already. Dr. Thox says, it makes sense if a camera is capable for both photo and vlogging. It should be improved for both markets. Agreed, new cameras are capable in both. I believe new Micro Four Thirds products should focus on photo and vlogging. 100% agreed, Dr. Thox. B says, OM, please bring back the Olympus 35 series. Just copy Fuji's homework. I mean, OM has a bigger legacy to sell. I know, right? But then again, gotta understand, OM system is not Olympus anymore. Olympus is sort of dead. While they continue to sell Micro Four Thirds products based on Olympus DNA or groundwork or the foundation, but OM Digital Solutions is a different company, and there's only so much they can draw from Olympus past because they are not Olympus anymore. And that's fine. I think they can move forward, and I think they have to move forward. They have to think of new strategies and new ways to appeal to the market, right? They can't just rely on Olympus, because they are not Olympus anymore. Yeah. Dr. Thox says, true, but most entry-level buyers will go for value for money over sensor size. Yes, value for money. That's true. You guys are talking to each other. Wolfie says, while there is no official ban, DJI drones are already extremely hard to find in the US. True, that's true. I think the rest I've read already. Wolfies keep talking about the National Defense Authorization thing. All right, so I'm going to skip this. Yep. Capture one. Yumi says, great edits, Robin. Do you use muted with your other camera? It doesn't matter because I shot in RAW. So whatever that is used in the camera doesn't translate in the RAW image that you see that's opened through the image processing software. So whatever color profile that is actually applied by the software itself, not the camera. But the colors from the camera is still valid because those are the colors that's captured from the image sensor. And whatever that you get, every sensor is unique. Like even EM1 to EM5 to the OM5, every sensor has slight color variance. Yeah. Fabagamoka says, Robin, I also do the same process, tilt adjustment, contrast, highlight, shadow. I really adjust colors, and when I do, usually it's for some artsy stuff. I love Olympus colors. I know, right? Like, people always say, Robin, wow, your colors are so nice. How do you get that? What is your secret sauce? There is no secret sauce. It's what you saw, right? Just a few sliders and that's it. Yeah. Jack says, thanks for this, Robin. This confirms what I've been seeing with Panasonic. With GH1 to GH3, colors were like your Olympus colors. With GS8 and G9, my colors are blah. I don't know. There's just something really, really wrong with the Panasonic colors. I've said this so many times already. Who says, for editing, I spend time on macro up to a minute, while macro I've spent even less. Because usually there's not much perspective to correct, right? Nothing much to tilt. And sometimes like just contrast and highlight because I use flash, and sometimes I overexpose my image a little bit because of the flash overexposure. I use my flash manually, but other than that, like I spend very little time to edit my macro images. Yeah. Statman says, I already answered this question earlier. Wolfie says, sorry if I broke your chat. No worries. Which profile do you use in camera? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Because I shoot RAW. All these profiles will not translate to the final results. Yeah. Okay, I am going to say this nicely to you, Statman. Usually, I will go through every single chat and I will reply to them. All you have to do is just wait a little bit and I'll get to you. If you type your chat, the same chat, many times, there is a very high chance that YouTube will flag you as a spammer And when that happens, you probably will not be able to comment anymore in the future. This has happened to a few people before. Like they just paste the comment like 10 times and then suddenly they just disappear. So please be careful, guys. If you have some chats, just put there and that's it. I will get to you, right? I will get to you. Jeffrey says, I still use two EM1 Mark II bodies. I still use my EM1 Mark II. The only feature I really want is handheld high-res and maybe Live ND. Seems like the Mark III is still a terrific camera and maybe, given the cost, thoughts. I think Live ND is overrated. The feature is too limited to be useful in any scenarios. I'd rather use a physical ND filter. Handheld high-res shot, I would rather use tripod high-res shot. The improved resolution is not consistent. The tripod, yes, tripod if it's 50, it's 50 all the way. But because handheld depends on your hand movement, and every single shot, your hand movement is different. So every single shot that's staged, sometimes you may get, instead of 20 megapixels, you may get like 28 megapixels, you may get 32 megapixels, you may get 30 megapixels. But I don't think it's true 50 megapixels if you ask me. The only way to really get true 50 megapixels high-res shot is using the tripod high-res. Simon says, I'm going to write something controversial. I prefer jetpacks from my A6000 and A7 Mark III, and somehow they always try to match them with the EM1 Mark II. Okay. Well, if you love the A6000 and A7 Mark III, then go for it. No one's is. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what camera is better or what camera has better colors or what JPEG is better. If you find that something works for you, then go for it. M Zaid says, does the GX85 handheld night mode works the same as the Olympus version? No! Watch last week's live stream. I'm not going to repeat here. Roger says, OM Workspace, good to use. Too slow. Too slow. Carl says, had to step away for work, but I'm back now. I'll have to watch the VOD. No worries, no worries. Video on demand. Andrew says, I wish OM really consider bringing back the pen. Yeah, I love the pen line as well. Jidantra says, while you are shooting, do you have a color profile applied? Doesn't really matter. Like, all this doesn't translate to the final photograph, right? Doesn't really matter. Yeah. Jet says, thanks for the editing, Robin. This confirms what we're seeing. Yep, I've already talked about this already. Car says, that said, what do you think of the possibility of OM going to medium density? Medium format? Very little, because they can barely stay afloat with currently what they have. And if they were to be so bold to explore medium format, it's just too high of a risk. And I don't think they are willing to take that risk. Rather than going medium format, why don't they fix or improve on what they already have now, which will prove to be a better success, right? Steve says, your Fuji X5 video hit the Fuji market, which would include your audience plus the Fuji folks. Basically, you hit a broader audience. Not true. That's not what the statistics tell me. You can look at the, what you call that, analytics that YouTube provide you, and it's usually very helpful for you to understand how your channel is doing and where your audience is coming from. My subscribers don't watch the Fuji video. Only a small percentage of them watch. Let me just open up my YouTube analytics. Let's see. So because what YouTube does is YouTube will push the video to your subscribers first, to my subscribers. If my subscribers watch the video, a high percentage, this is called click-through rate. If the click-through is high, then YouTube will push this to a wider audience. But because the click-through or my subscribers choose to watch the video less, very little people of my subscribers watch my video, so YouTube doesn't push my video to a wide audience. They only push it to a little bit further out. Even so, this a little bit further out, a lot of people watch my video more than my own subscribers watching my OM5 Mark II video, and it's just kind of sad. It's a very sad thing to discover if you really think about it. Okay, let's look at the analytics, see if I can pull through reach. Browse features, direct unknown, or audience. Let's see audience. Why is it so different from here? Reach. Traffic sources. All right. Why is it this like that? It's different from my analytics here, so let me just pull it from here. Subscription feed. Okay, so I have 90,000 subscribers. Do you want to guess how many people watch the Fuji X-E5 video? 667 people. All right, so only 667 people, or my subscribers, watch the Fuji video. And I think now it has how many views already? How many views does it have? I think it's 19,000 views. Out of the 19,000 views, only 667 people watch, which means 18,000 people came from elsewhere. Kind of sad, right? Kind of sad. Yeah. Okay, if you compare to, let's say, I don't know, OM5 Mark 3 video. Let's see if I can see. I can't see the exact same stats because this stats is only provided in the beginning. Other than that, I need to do a deep dive into the, what do you call that? Direct or unknown, top sources, YouTube. Yeah, I need to do deep dive into the analytics, which will take too much time. I don't have time to do that now. But anyway, out of the 19,000 views, only 667 subscribers watch it. And everyone else is not my subscribers. So yeah. Andrew says, I traded my 25 1.8 Panasonic. I'm guessing it's 25 1.7 Panasonic for Olympus 25 1.8 best on you and Mati's video. I saw the difference. Yeah, the Olympus lens is just so much better. And when I say this, right, people say, oh, Robin, you're so biased. Oh, Robin, of course you're an Olympus fanboy. You'll say bad things about Panasonic. You should be more objective next time. Oh, this is such a shield. Of course, Olympus pay you to say nice things. I'm like, sometimes I'm just being honest. And people don't really want honesty from you. They don't care if I say the right or wrong things. They don't care if I tell things honestly. They just want to hear what they want to hear. They have a Panasonic lens. All they want to hear is nice things about Panasonic lens. When you say something bad, I did not even say anything bad about Panasonic lens. I'm just saying the Olympus is slightly better. Slightly better. And they cannot accept the truth. I'm like, you can believe what you want. You don't have to agree with me, but you don't have to be so hostile, right? You don't have to be so violent. Anyway, there is that. No worries, Jeffrey. Seven says, thanks for answering. Only added multiple because you said it refreshed, did not see earlier message. No worries. Over again. Yes, just be careful because it will trigger the YouTube spam. I think if you repeat one time, it's okay. If you repeat like more than 3 times, 4 times, that's where things will start to happen, right? So just be a little bit careful. Yeah. Kana says, I'm getting the G9 to pair with the GH5. Does the G9 have good animal detect? No. G9 Mark II, yes. Zach says, hi Robin, good to see you again. Good to be here, good to be seen. Adricus says, what are the chances of one system becoming a part of L? No, 0 chance. Marcus says, I believe that a new slightly bigger megapixel sensor with aspiring colors. Aspiring colors? What does that even mean? Was my photographs earlier not aspiring enough in terms of colors? Was there anything wrong with the colors in my photographs? Anyway, better tracking autofocus, snappy data transfer, and solid video within a small body will get one system back on track. I think they need smaller bodies. That's true because the bodies are getting too big recently. Autofocus, yes, they are definitely behind. But colors? What's wrong with the colors? Really? Genref says, Zuko lenses are so much better than most Panasonic lenses. I better not say anything here because people are just going to attack me left, right, center, up, down. I don't know. It's just not worth sometimes telling the truth, and sometimes it's just not worth the cost, right? And people they don't care about the truth. They just want to hear what they want to hear. Yeah. Frank says, let me explain it from what I believe is a balanced opinion. Other YouTubers on cameras either push a full frame or FPS and push 4/3 to non-serious shooting or non-professional enthusiasm. Okay, let me try. Let me explain from what I believe is a balanced opinion. Okay, other YouTubers on cameras either push a full frame or PSC, or push Micro Four Thirds to non-serious shooting or non-professional. Okay, let me rephrase that if I understand it correctly. You're saying that YouTubers generally would sell or try to say nice things about full frame and PSC, and for Micro Four Thirds is for non-serious shooting. Is that correct? I think part of it is I don't blame the YouTubers. You're saying that the YouTubers are wrong for saying all these things. Let me flip it around. Why don't Panasonic and OM System make truly a killer product that is so good that even full-frame shooters would want to use Micro Four Thirds? Why can't they do that? It is not a secret that Micro Four Thirds, both Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions, when it comes to autofocus, they are just behind. If you look at what Canon is doing, if you look at what Sony is doing, Micro Four Thirds is just behind. When it comes to a lot of tech, a lot of things, right? Even if you just talk about image quality, pixel count, Sony is what, 60-something megapixels, Nikon is at 40-something, Canon is at 40-something megapixels, Micro Four Thirds is stuck at 20, 24, or is it 25 in Panasonic GH7? I don't know. That's less than half of what your competition is doing, right? Everyone has more resolution now. Even Fuji has 40 megapixels, and yet Micro Four Thirds has only 20. I'm not asking Micro Four Thirds to match. I'm not asking Micro Four Thirds to surpass. But we have been stuck since forever. Why don't we have 28, 30, 32 megapixels? I don't think that's too much to ask for. So if Panasonic, OM System, or Micro Four Thirds, if we want the content creators to say something nice about Micro Four Thirds, then give them something nice to talk about. Right? And I have to be truthful. I never once comment that Micro Four Thirds is better than full frame when it comes to image quality. I always say full frame will be better in resolution, better in dynamic range, and better in high ISO. That is still true, right? I will never say Micro Four Thirds is better than Sony or Canon or even Nikon when it comes to autofocus. And I have admitted, and I am a Micro Four Thirds fan. I am one of the largest Micro Four Thirds supporter, and I said this many times. My OM1's human face tracking autofocus, human face and eye tracking, is worse and less reliable than the Nikon's entry-level camera, the Z5 from 5 years ago. Z5, a camera that costs like 30% of what the OM1 is asking for at retail, is better, faster, more reliable when it comes to tracking human face and moving subjects. It is a very painful truth for me to say. So you are here blaming the YouTubers for saying that, oh, Micro Four Thirds is not for full frame, Micro Four Thirds is not for professional, not for serious use. No, the YouTubers are not to be blamed. What needs to be done is for Micro Four Thirds players to come up with a wow product, a killer product that no one can deny that is so good that even full frame shooters want to use it. That's the way to go. No worries, Kenneth. And Amarcus says, out of context, I have adapted some old Zuiko analog lenses to my EM1 Mark II, and I'm loving the results. I have 135 f2.8, 200 f4. Lovely results. No autofocus, no go from Robin. Yeah, I know, I saw that. Yeah, the thing about, well, I have open window, so even if I kill all the cockroaches in my room, they can just fly in. You can see the window is open, right? And yeah, it's a very, 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 very old building. This building was how many years old now? Let me just Google. It's almost 30 years old building, so have to do what I have to do, right? Frank says, so you are one of the only intellectual honest conversation about the brand we are trying to save and love. I try my best, right? I try my best, yeah. The Wolf and Helen says, Novice here, your videos are very helpful. Thank you for your content. No worries, I try my best. I do my best. And thanks for being here. More passion. All right, I've caught up with the chat, I think there's one more. TT Bird says, I think a small new Micro Four Thirds camera with latest Micro Four Thirds specs is more important than a spec bump. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, right? Small camera, entry-level camera. That's true. Jen says, they also have to be aware of prices, especially now that we have very little new third-party support. I just tried this Vutrot 75 1.2 and it's insanely good. I think Micro Four Thirds need to sell more cameras, gain more market share. If not, then no one's going to make third-party lenses for Micro Four Thirds. It's just the truth, right? Okay, I've caught up with the chat. That's it for tonight, I guess. I hope you guys have enjoyed the conversation. I hope you guys have enjoyed the photo sharing as well as the quick editing that I did, live editing for you guys. I hope you see that I don't have any secret sauce. My photographs are almost as good as straight out of camera. And I even edit less when it comes to reviews. I don't bump up you see how much I've pushed the shadows and the highlights, right? For my review shots, I'm very conscious not to push too much. And I don't really do anything to the colors. The colors are already as good as what's out from the camera. I hope you guys have also, learn something from the conversation, I guess, about Micro Four Thirds in general, and whether we agree or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just that I think we are here for the same reason. We want Micro Four Thirds to thrive. We want Micro Four Thirds to do well in the market, gain more market share, and hopefully they can give us more amazing products in the future. Because at current situation, seems like they're not doing very well. They're very small market share, and things could have been done better. I think Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions need to really sit down and get the shit together and really do something drastic to change their trajectory for the future, for the better future, right? So I hope they do, and for the sake of their survival, for the sake of their future, I hope they take things more seriously. I'm still Micro Four Thirds fan. I still support them. I still wish them well, and I do want them to do well, and I still shoot with Micro Four Thirds. And yeah, until next week, I hope you guys go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.